Okay, we are live. Okay, Let- let's just wait for a couple of people to join, and
Okay,
I'll drop it on the communities.
that's great.
Hello, Iniobong. Can
Hi,
you?
David. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi,
Good.
Alfred.
Hi,
Hi.
Ini. Good evening.
What's
Okay.
up?
Nice to have you guys here. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so we're actually live already, and we're going to like start in the next 1 minute. Yeah, please.
Okay.
Okay. So I think we can start now. All right.
All right, that's fine.
Okay. Uh, all right. So first of all, I would like to say a very big thank you to Alfred and to Iniobong for creating out time out of their very busy schedule to participate in this live webinar. So in this live webinar, what basically happens is that we try to uh, I'm going to basically ask lots of questions. Yeah, I'll ask lots of questions to you, and then I will try to. The questions is intended to help maybe newbies, entrepreneurs to understand how to overcome certain barriers in entering into entrepreneurship. And this is more like some form of capital. Yeah, this is more like some form of capital. Yeah, but now this capital is more like knowledge resources for them to like enter into entrepreneurship, and of course not make the kind of mistakes that early let's say a newbie entrepreneur should make, which can actually cost them maybe 2 years 5 years into their entrepreneurial career. So yes, so we're going to start, but just one more moment. Let me post out an information out that I about this event. Yeah, just to put it on the community again. Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. Okay, so for myself, my name is David Orok, and I'm the founder of Space. I have always been like super excited about entrepreneurship and anything that has to do with identifying problems and looking for ways to create solutions to those problems. And eventually get paid for the solutions that I create. And so the do entrepreneurship webinar, it's more like an avenue for entrepreneurs, newbies, existing ones, the ones that are currently struggling like myself. Yes, so I am still in the valley of death, which is like according to startup owners manual. All right, so it's more like the space between when a startup launches and when they manage to break even. So yeah, so many startup founders and entrepreneurs who are currently in the valley of death will benefit so much from this webinar, right? So I'm gonna start. It's gonna be more like a roundtable kind of discussion. Yeah, so I will try to throw some questions. So I'm gonna start with Iniobong. Iniobong, yes. And before I begin, I'm going to just make a very short introduction to each of the speakers. Yes, so we have here in the studio, we have here Iniobong. Iniobong is the founder of Tech Skills Hack. It's a community of tech enthusiasts who are like currently learning how to build amazing products in technology. And she's also more of a tech clarity coach. She's very, very much into disrupting tech in education. And then she's also the founder. Okay, I had already mentioned that she's also a One Young World ambassador. And so yeah, she has so much of experience, and she's going to be sharing those experiences with us. And then in the studio here, we also have Mr. Alfred Lazarus, and Alfred Lazarus is a serial entrepreneur, right? And he has always been like super involved in digital marketing and helping so many technology enthusiasts and entrepreneurship enthusiasts. I think there should be something like that, to venture into entrepreneurship and learn digital marketing. And so basically from his portfolio, he is a digital marketer. He's an SEO specialist, leader. He's also a blockchain lover. So welcome to the webinar. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, David. Thank you, David.
Yes. Iniobong, welcome, please.
Okay, thank you very much, David. Thank you for
Okay.
having me.
Great. So, all right. So we have already started, and I'm gonna start throwing out questions. I will just be throwing out questions anyhow, and we'll try to see how we can handle this question. So the very first question here. Okay, so I don't know. I didn't talk about what the webinar is all about. Like, I mean, today's webinar, right? I talked about what we do entrepreneurship webinars. So, but for today is a webinar on how to make money in entrepreneurship, right? So we have different kinds of entrepreneurship, and one of the key things, right? Okay, not like the super key thing, but one of the key things is actually how to make money. Like, if you're told you're an entrepreneur, that means you're getting involved in active entrepreneurship just so that you can actually solve problems and make the world a better place, and of course go back home with lots of money in your bank account or in your hand or in a briefcase or something. Yes. So for today, we're going to be talking about how to make money in entrepreneurship. And while we are discussing all of this, we are going to try to identify some of the barriers to entering into entrepreneurship, and why anyone should even enter into entrepreneurship. In fact, that should be our very first question. So, Bong, you've been in this entrepreneurship space for a long time. So yeah, why should anyone, like in their right senses, knowing too well that even
Hello.
make it? Yes, can you hear me? Yes, Iniobong, can you hear me? Lazarus, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, so Iniobong, can you hear me? Okay, I think
Okay. Yeah,
I think
network.
she, yeah, I think maybe she's having some issues with her network. So Okay, now the question goes straight back to you now, Alfred. So
Okay.
why would anyone in their right senses and in their right mind decide to venture into entrepreneurship when nothing is sure in entrepreneurship, right? You might be thinking that, okay, as soon as I jump into entrepreneurship, I'm going to start making money, I'm going to start living the lives, I'm going to start, rubbing shoulders with the big boys. So why would anyone do that when there's nothing sure in entrepreneurship? You can start today and get bankrupt tomorrow. So why would anyone even do that?
Okay, first of all, I have to do something first. I have a very clear face, but for the sake of this question, I have to clean my face. Uh, yeah, the reason I have to clean my face is not because I had a dirty face or because I was bored or because of heat. I have to clean my face because that's what entrepreneurship means. I don't think anybody in their right sense should even jump into entrepreneurship. It's for mad people. It's for crazy people. So I feel except you are ready to get mad, except you are ready to be mad. That's when you have to go into entrepreneurship because a whole numbers of times you need to do amazing things. You need to be crazy, like extremely crazy, just like my father and my mentor. Was this Bill? Steve Jobs said that it's only when you are crazy that's when you do great things. For entrepreneurship, the reason people get into entrepreneurship, for me, it's not about money or
Okay.
it's about value. When you actually realize that okay, you can actually bring this solution to life, not because that solution have not existed before or you are actually the best person to do that, but because you know that the people around you, they are having a problem and you need to solve it. So I think that's one of the reason, and not even one of the reason. That's the whole summation of why people go into entrepreneurship.
Great, great, great. Thank you very much. So, Iniobong, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you guys. Sorry, my internet I had a little internet issue.
No problem.
Okay, so am I meant to answer the same question?
Yes, yes, yes. We would like to have
I
your own
I
insights
I
too.
think I think Lazarus have said everything. Please, if you don't have any village people chasing you, if you don't have any issues, if you have what you're doing, and you have an organization that they're taking good care of you, they're paying you your salary as at when due, and you don't have any solution to offer, you're not passionate, it's not something like, oh, if I don't offer this solution, okay, the world is not going to be okay, someone out there is going to die. Please don't come into entrepreneurship. Shouldn't be something you venture into. Don't try it, because it's going to leave you depressed. It's going to leave, instead of you making money, you're going to lose money. So most people believe, okay, oh, once I get into okay, because you're seeing someone doing a particular thing and in your mind, okay, oh, I should leave my job and do the same. And please, like I say most times, don't mind those who will tell you, okay, working for someone is, I think they have a particular phrase that they use. Is it one, they have one particular phrase that they use, that okay, you shouldn't work for someone, you should have your own job, just because they want to sell something to you. Don't mind those people. If you don't have any stuff that you have, like, um okay, I have a solution to something and I want to prefer that solution, please and please, I beg, don't get into entrepreneurship. Don't start it. It's not a walk in the park. It's something that some days you look at your pocket and it's a long-term investment. You
Right.
might not see it now. Even us like this that we're passionate, don't mind the, it's just a facade we're putting up. There are days that we don't see money, but we are just passionate that our struggle and now what we're doing right now will pay off very soon. So if you don't have that patience, if you don't have that grace, if you don't have some way or somebody that is bankrolling you, please and please, be comfortable with what you're doing. Most
Right.
entrepreneurs, they won't tell you the struggle behind the glory. They're not going to tell you, okay, oh, this is it. But it's something beautiful if you have passion for it. If you're like, oh, I want to save the world, I want to do this thing. It's something beautiful because of the reviews, the reward that you get in the long run. It's something beautiful. But if you don't have anything, if you just want to get into it because everybody's bearing CEO of myself or founder of this, please
Exactly.
don't. Leave the
Okay.
tag. Leave the tag. It's just fancy. So don't do it, please. Don't do it. If you're not
Great.
passionate about it, don't do it. Don't do
Thank
it.
you very much. Thank you. So you said something about making money. I didn't know that you guys are making money in entrepreneurship. I'm not making money.
I didn't say I'm making money. I'm just saying in the long run, you're going to make money. But all
Okay,
the
great.
same, why are we in this?
Yeah.
Yes, we are passionate about this, and also we also need money. We're going to make money out of it. So it's nothing that I'm ashamed about. If making money
Okay,
is your sole aim, it's fine. But I'm just
great.
trying to tell you that if you're just coming because of that, you see shege before you see money.
Plenty
Okay,
shaggy.
great, great. All right. So, thank you very much for that. Thank you so much. That was more hilarious than I thought. Okay. So, all right. So, the next questions I have here is, we're just going to be answering lots of questions and just interacting, and then see how we can, uh, you know, make this really worthwhile, right? So now there are certain things that I picked out for with regards to entrepreneurship, right? And I feel on my own side that it's like a very important prerequisite with regards to getting into entrepreneurship, and that's market research. So since we're talking about how to make money, right? Because the webinar is about how to make money in entrepreneurship, yeah. So we're going to talk about the whole concept of market research and how it concerns an entrepreneur and how it translates into cash eventually. So back to Alfred. So Alfred,
Yeah.
when it comes to market research, right? How valuable is market research to you as an entrepreneur, and how does it eventually, all right? So I'm going to be asking you this question, like I'm asking you this question as an entrepreneur, I'm asking you this question as an SEO specialist, I'm asking you this question as a digital marketer, right? So so you're going to try to answer it around that, around those different sectors of your your life. All right, so how valuable is market research to you as an entrepreneur, as an SEO specialist, as a digital marketer, and how does it translate to making cash, to making money? Did you get what I said? Okay. Iniobong, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I think he might be having some network problems.
Yeah. Please, can you repeat your question again?
Okay, so what I was asking is this. All right, so with regards to entrepreneurship, I picked out a particular keyword, which is market research, and
Mm-hmm.
I know you're more into education and
Education.
training.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how valuable is market research to you as an entrepreneur, as a trainer, and how
Mm.
does it translate eventually to making money?
Okay, the market research.
Yes, market
Okay, so
research.
for every entrepreneur, you should do your market research first before going into the market. So I discovered there was an issue. There was a market out there, and that market was, for me, the market was more of the clarity session market. So I know there are a whole lot of people going into e-learning, doing a lot of training, but I didn't see people offering clarity sessions for people who want to get started in tech. So yes, tech is very dynamic. Tech is wide. There was this myth that I had to come in and constantly debunk, and that myth was that, oh, that everything around tech revolves around programming, and it's not true. We have a whole lot of profession in tech that doesn't have to do with with programming. So mine was to come in, educate people, talk about it. Okay, I know you guys want to get into tech, but do you really know which of the field is the right one for you? Can you do programming? I know it's not everybody who can do programming. Do you have a flame? Do you have a passion for programming? No. So come, let me offer you, let me advise you based on my 7 years experience in this field. Let me help you get it right before you get started. And so having to do that market research and getting to understand that the market needs someone to offer clarity or need the service of a clarity coach. I had to tap into that, and it's been very, very helpful for me. And that's where I make some of the change that I use. So it's very good for people to research. So you don't just jump into a thing because okay, you see people doing it in US. US market might be different from the Nigerian market, or you see people doing it in Lagos and you're in Akwa Ibom. The market might be different. So go, just check, ask people around. So what is obtainable in this environment? And you might have a lofty idea, big idea in your mind, but that idea might not translate to money or might not sell because the people in that environment at the moment do not have need of that idea. So just like the Bible will say, time and seasons happen. So you need to look for the time and season and then launch your idea if it's the right one. But before you know if your idea is right for a particular location or a particular market, you need to do the feasibility study. So it's very important for any entrepreneur who wants to step out to study the market first before launching out.
Oh, I was muted. All right, great, great. Thank you very much for that. So, Alfred, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, perfectly.
Okay, did you get the question I asked earlier?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, all right. So please address it.
Okay, so like Iniobong said, I not even a whole lot of stuff. Over, I think in the tech world, less than less than 30% of career in tech revolves around coding. Less than 30%. So what happens to
Okay.
the other 30, 70%? Who are the 70% stuff? So the fact is, uh, before jumping into either entrepreneurship, before even starting to buy anything to sell, or before building a product, even from all my SEO class, I keep telling people the first step to even do before building a website is SEO. Somebody will always ask me why. Why do you say so? Because from whoever that will be writing your web copies, you need to understand the people that will buy from you. You need to understand what are they looking for, where are they staying. So you need to research all of this before you start building any product. So if that is just one part of tech, being the SEO and website, that means you cannot sell a business, you cannot start a business, you cannot be an entrepreneur without knowing who are the people you want to sell to. First, you can actually stay. I actually told somebody you can go to Lagos and start selling something of 10 naira within the, what they call it, Ikoyi. The people there don't want to buy something of 10 naira, so they will not patronize you. You are not their audience, you are not the
That's true.
market. So you'll be staying in Ikoyi, selling watch of 5,000 naira, and you complaining that Ikoyi is hard, life is hard, entrepreneurship is hard. It's not hard. It is you that makes everything too hard because you didn't understand the people that will buy your product. You didn't research who will buy your product. That same Ikoyi you are complaining that has made entrepreneurship to be boring. If you start staying in Ikoyi to be selling open roof car or different Google homes and different other amazing products, you'll be seeing, and you target people within your environment, you get to see that people patronize you. So market research is actually one of the very easy way if you want to build an amazing product and make money. If money make money, okay, not money, build an amazing product, solve amazing problem, then you make money from the solution you provide. You must actually follow the market research protocols. So I feel every entrepreneur in the market, in this space, should learn how to know what do they want to do, who do they want to do it for, the what question, the where questions, the how question, how do you want to get to them. Okay, people in Ikoyi, I'm using Ikoyi as my example. People in Ikoyi, they don't buy from shops outside within Ikoyi. What do they buy? They buy from internet or they drive out to buy. So what do? If you want to be running ads, you need to know how to factor in how whenever they are sleeping, they get to see your heart in their dream. Whenever they scroll around Facebook, they get to see your heart. Or whether they go on Google, everywhere they go, you enter their eye. So market research is actually one of the recommended ways if you want to solve, if you know that your problem, your solution is actually addressing a problem. So that's it.
Great, great, great. I like all of the contributions so far. Makes a whole lot of sense. So we're going to go straight to the next question, and this one is actually might somehow be emotional for everyone here, right? So what were the I'm going to go straight to Iniobong right now. So what were the barriers to entering your industry, and how did you overcome these barriers? Like, I'm very certain that one way or the other you might have encountered like lots of barriers in, starting your community. You have like a very large community on Facebook, and where you get to teach a lot of people different stuffs in tech, right? So what were the barriers, right? And how did you overcome them? Yes.
Okay, so first of all, the barrier was one of the barrier I faced was this was in 2000 and I got very active 2018. And I think back then we didn't really have a lot of women going into being very vocal about take. And some people just knew that, okay, oh, how long has she been in take space for her to be saying all this thing or for her to be very vocal like this? So I think I heard some people talk about stuffs like that. That was one of the challenge. Okay, or what does she really know in take that she's talking about? So that was a challenge. And another challenge was how do I get to meet? Because I knew most of the people that I was looking for, they were not just in Akwa Ibom. I was still in Akwa Ibom back then. So the challenge was, okay, so how do I get to meet my audience? I have people in Abuja, in Lagos, in Port Harcourt that I would love to meet. So how do I get to meet them? And that was when the idea of starting a Facebook group came to mind, and I was able to deal with that particular challenge. And will I say finances? No, I've finances have never been a thing, an issue for me. So finances wasn't. So I just think the challenge for me, launching into the market was, okay, what will people think about me? So it was more of self-doubt, even when I knew I had something to offer. One, and then what avenue do I use to reach out to those people? So I think those were like the two challenges that I had.
Okay, so basically the challenges that you faced was not really finances. Okay, so that makes a whole lot of
No.
sense. But you're going to give us an idea of how you let's say because I know very well that usually when it comes to entrepreneurship and venturing into tech or starting a business at all, there's always a problem of finance. So you give us some sort of hack
Okay, so
about.
so let
Yeah,
me give you guys the expo how I did it.
please
Yes,
do.
I had a huge following,
Okay,
and being with what I did, mostly consultations and trainings. I didn't need an office. Yes, I didn't need an office. So I just needed to make myself an authority online. And by doing that, becoming an authority, people reach out to you. So you get
okay.
to see people who reach out to you like, okay, oh, we've been seeing what you do. Okay, so how can I do this? How can I do that? So I didn't need a physical space to do it. And then I said I used Facebook group when I started. So it
Okay.
was later on that I was like, okay, oh, I need money to do this and do that. But when I started, I didn't need money to launch anything. So I used my goodwill and my relationship with people and then the huge followings that I had online to scale. That was what really helped me.
That makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah. So I think that's gonna be one of the things that we're gonna talk about at the. Okay, I think it's gonna be like the next thing we're gonna talk about. Really building a community, right? And I between building a community, building a product, and raising capital, which would you recommend first? So that's gonna be like the next question. But over to Alfred. Alfred, so what we're talking about was basically what were the barriers that you experienced when you you ventured into entrepreneurship, into learning digital marketing, into learning SEO. Like, what were the barriers to entering each of these industries, and how exactly did you overcome them? Because when you share these insights, it's very possible that whoever is watching this and whoever will watch this later will be able to learn from these powerful insights that you're sharing.
Okay, so I initially I've actually always said this. I never intend to do SEO. I never or digital marketing. Actually, I started fully on digital marketing, but I actually I never knew I can be able to actually talk to anybody, let alone to go and convince somebody to be able to even build a brand awareness, convert sales, and the rest of the stuff. I started from Android development. I didn't have a laptop. I've always said it. I didn't have a laptop, but before I even progress, I can buy any laptop I want to use at the moment with digital marketing. So what happens? I realize that if I don't have a laptop to start with what I want, I can actually pivot to something else that doesn't require that much space on a laptop. So I pivoted to digital marketing. I learned digital marketing in, was it 1 week or 2 weeks? That was the basis, that was the ground basis of digital marketing, and it wasn't enough. I did many research, I stopped sleeping. In 1 month I was able to build myself, not too high, but I knew I was actually ready to commit my life into digital marketing. 3 months, 6 months, sometimes I doubted myself. I started using the knowledge of digital marketing to do many things. 1 year, I have to open a business. That's your book vendor. I opened a business on Google. I opened a business. I created my profile online. I went to pay Facebook, created a page. I mastered the local SEO. From local SEO, I said, okay, it's actually time since a whole lot of persons needed to know my office. I said, okay, fine. I don't have money to go and rent a very big office. I need to rent an office for 2 months. That's when I rented Hill Space in Udoh.
I remember.
So when I rented, I actually, so whenever you want vote, I'll tell you, okay, come to Mommy J, back on Mommy J, and the rest of the stuff. People get to know, okay, this guy have an office and the rest of the stuff. Now, what happens? The journey, even when I quit selling books, I actually did not sell books because I wanted to sell books. I didn't sell books because of money, like when we myself and Iniobong talked. Nope, it was because I read a lot and the conversation was extremely broad among your friends. When you sit in the class of 5 persons, you sounds to be the most knowledgeable person. It didn't make sense. So I said, okay, fine. It's time for me, not because the conversation was boring that they didn't know what they say, but it wasn't global, it wasn't revolving. It's either we are talking about tech, or we are talking about this niche. And so I have to say, okay, let me start selling books for entrepreneurs. That's the kind of book I sell. I sell psychology, I sell leadership, I sell the whatever that makes an entrepreneur be able to understand the market well. I do. So I did. From there, I built a whole name in the entire Ofoyo. Whenever they want to, whenever somebody needs a book, the very first person they will mention in that post is Alfred Lazarus. I gained dominance. I said, okay, fine. It's time to dominate the digital marketing space. I had to say, I started showing myself as a thought leader in the digital market. I did
Great.
everything. I started training people for free. I always tell people okay, so maybe somebody commented on Iniobong stuff. I said, okay, you can't be telling somebody that the person should monetize everything. No, you don't need to monetize everything.
Exactly.
The best strategy is when you give people things for free.
For
They
free.
they can give you everything. So far, you actually give them something for free. So I started doing a whole lot of stuff, organized classes. I remember having a class for people. I gave them tea every day. I give them tea, free tea. But this is master class for free. So where was the money coming from for them for me to be providing them lunch? So I knew that I was doing something. Like if you want to gain dominance, you need to do something that somebody else has not done.
That's true.
I did something so nobody else has ever done. I'll train you. I'll still give you transport. I'll still give you data.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I'll give you data. So where do I make money? I make money working from people. Then I'll bring that money for me to leverage on what I know I want people to know me for. I have to do a lot of research. I got to know, I did so many comparisons. I say, okay, fine. It's time for me to pivot. I don't have to always tell people I'm a digital marketer. Fine, it's there for you to go and find out whether I am a digital marketer or not. But fine, I have to switch to something one person can actually know. Even if it's midnight, you want to call me, you know, you can call me. I switched to search engine optimization. When I got to learn about search engine, I said, wow, this is my forte. Okay, I was able to do programming. Okay, this one has a little bit of technicalities, writing shitty codes and correcting some flaws. I did. So why am I bringing all of this story? Because if you need to find what is working, you need to find exactly what is working. If you have stayed in a space for many years and things are not going the way you want, you need to be the one to bring the change you want into the ecosystem, and that was what works. Like today, after I left your book vendor for so many years, I was still getting calls on Google. People were still reaching out, calling me every week. In 1 week, I can get up to 3 calls. That's not a bad stuff. I had so many views on Google My Business. That's not the bad stuff. Whenever I check, even when I left the business, last week I got an order worth over $500 for me to deliver books. Now I have actually known that I am pivoting from even your book fair. I was selling. I can actually sell one books to Iniobong today. I sell 1 or 3 books to David, but the level I'm actually pivoting my entrepreneurship about book business too. It's not even for me to sell one books. How? What I do now is for me to build your library. So you trust me with your money. Of course, you have seen my own library. I have a library. If you have seen my library, you know that Alfred is a reader. He knows what he's doing. So you need to entrust me with your money. Say, Alfred, look at my brain, look at the level of communication I am. I want you to equip my library with the kind of conversation I should be having in the next 3, 5 years. So it's now with your money, I enter the market to find what fits the conversation you want to have. So entrepreneurship, it's about moving from one stage to another when you have actually seen that you are growing, you are evolving, and you need to grow
Great.
with the world. So that's it. Thank you.
Great. Great. That makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah. Thank you very much, Lazarus. Thank you so much. Okay, so the next question is going to be about building a community, right? Because for me, right, I initially I was so obsessed while starting out in entrepreneurship and trying to build a business. I was like excessively obsessed with building a product. Yeah, I was always obsessed with building like one of the best products. I have to like find software engineer to collaborate with to build stuff and all that. But later on, I discovered that even after building the product, right, you still find it really difficult to sell this thing. Yeah, because sometimes maybe the what is it called? Maybe the product did not like complete maybe a 360 cycle of market research, right? So when it was finally like launched, I discovered that people are not buying it, right? And then even with uh because of the lack of maybe skills in selling and all of that, I wasn't really able to sell the product at first. So now the question now is, what is okay, so this question is going to go straight to Iniobong, right? So between building a community, building a product, and raising capital for your business while starting out as an entrepreneur, which one would you recommend first?
Between what? I had building a community, building a product, and what raising capital.
Raising capital, yes. Which would you recommend to be the very first thing? Would yeah.
Number one, build a community. You need people to use your product.
Okay.
Build a community. Then after building a community, have a product. Then when you have a product, then you can source for funds. So like I tell people, especially if you're not really a known voice, It's
Okay.
very hard, even though if you're selling life, like life, if you're not a known voice, it's very hard for you to get people to recognize you. So when I say build a community, it might not be 1,000 it might be just two people who are your community. But these two people, they need to be people who have voice. Because most times you've just seen how someone just come out from obscurity into limelight, like because one celebrity shared his product or one celebrity used his product. So
Okay.
you might have a wide community or just have two people who are very influential. Have a community, have people who believe in what you're doing. Then you have a product. Then after
Okay.
product, you can go sourcing for funds. So most times
Okay.
I tell people, except you're just there, you don't have anything to prefer. Sourcing for funds shouldn't be your main target. The main target should be, okay, oh, I have an idea. Okay, I know how to get it done. Yes, I have this product has been used before. It might not be a complicated product. It might not be a complicated idea like, oh, an application that is connected to AI. Maybe that's your final, maybe that's the destination you're going to, but start somewhere. Have something
Okay.
that you're going to show. Okay, even when you're asking for funds or you're asking for grants, because people will take you, your investors will take you serious when you have something to show. They'll be like, okay, oh, we can see this. Okay, you have like 10 people using this application. These are the reviews. So first of all, have a community, then you have a product, then you can go out to search for fundings.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, Alfred, before you contribute, I would like to just welcome Bason, Mr. Bason,
Okay.
for coming on board. Yeah. So I think he had some few technical challenges while trying to connect earlier. So, Bason, thank you very much for joining and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm super excited to be here. And
Thank you
I
very
really have
much.
to
Good to have you.
apologize for coming
Yeah.
in quite late.
No,
I
it's
had a little bit of network glitch and technical issues, but I'm
Okay.
glad
it's
I'm here.
Um,
it's
Welcome,
Excited to
great.
bro.
be here.
It's good to
Thank you.
Okay.
have you.
Good
Yeah,
to have you.
thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
guys.
So we're going to just follow like the current line of thoughts. Then from there I will just go ahead and start asking you all the different questions that I've asked everyone else, and then you could just like give us your input on all of them. So Alfred, I believe you can still remember what we were talking about, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so between building a community and building a product and raising capital, which one would you recommend at first? Iniobong has already mentioned that what she would recommend to entrepreneurs would be like the guys that are starting out at the first should be to build a community first and then work on building a product and then look for investment. So what would you recommend?
Okay, first and foremost, I've actually never thought about capital as in any part of my building process. Maybe I've actually not built Google before, but I've actually never thought about startup capital first. The truth is, from the digital marketing perspective, I think it's actually about validating your idea. You need to validate your idea. So from the process of validating your idea, because definitely you are not going to validate your idea by yourself. You are going to validate your idea from surveys. So from the point of validating your ideas from people, that means already you have started doing something. What have you started doing? Building community around that product. That's the first step. So
Okay.
I will say the first step to building a great product as an entrepreneur is validating your idea, building a community. The second one is building a community. The third one is building a community. Why? Because from the angle of marketing, we have
Okay.
four channels of marketing. We have four. The first one is awareness. You create a brand awareness. You engage. You convert. The final one is what I love the most: the advocacy, giving your product, having people that advocate for your product. So when you are able to build a community around that product, that means you have people, even when you are not there, they'll always advocate for your product. Example, Alfred Lazarus. Which product do you know I can always advocate? Not because of I use it, but I have to bring it here. It's not because I use it often, not denying, not because I use it often, but
I know what you're
because
about saying.
yeah, not because I use it often, but because
Okay.
I am actually there was a time I actually planned to do an amazing art. Like I wanted to create an art. That art, when I actually estimated it, would cost me over 210,000 naira. It's still on my listing. Which company was that? Durex. Like the the way they present the whole product, the art makes you believe in that product. So from whether you have used it before or you have not used it before, so far whenever they want to mention a name that has to do with that niche, that is the first brand you will be able to remember. When we want to talk about company that gives happiness, the very first company that comes into my head, it's Coca-Cola. When we talked about happiness. So when you build a product, you build a community. I told people I have an iPhone. I use iPhone and Mac, but the truth is, I can confidently stay 2 days without touching my iPhone. But I know that I have iPhone. Why? Because where do Apple build their product around? They build their product around security. So whenever you have an iPhone or what a Mac, you know that your life is secured. So anybody on the internet that believes that he or she wants his or her life to be secured, the very first gadget that enters your brain is Apple product. So you must find something around your product that you want to build your community around. When the people are ready, there's no amount of product you build that will fail. But when you don't have any community that will drive your product, if you like, build what will take everybody to heaven, nobody will patronize it because
Right.
there's no community around it. That's
Great.
it.
Great. Great. Thank you very much. So your opinion right now, your recommendation is community number one, community
Yeah.
number two,
Community number two,
community number
community
three.
number three. Yeah.
Well done. Okay, great. All right, thank you very much. So let me just introduce Bason. So Bason is the CEO of Phenom EduTech Consulting, and he is like heavily into cryptocurrency and promoting anything that has to do with cryptocurrency. So I have a specific question here that I'm going to just ask Mr. Bason, right? So now, before I ask you that specific question, which has to do with cryptocurrency, right? So I'm going to ask you the very first question we talked about when we started the webinar, right? So how valuable is market research to you as an entrepreneur, right? Taking into consideration cryptocurrency and education, because I heavily know that you have been involved in education, training people, teaching students, and now you're like actively into cryptocurrency. So how valuable is market research to you as a as an entrepreneur, as a crypto trader, as a trainer? How does it translate to making money?
Okay, super excited to be here, guys, and let's dive right into it. Okay, so talking about market research and what I'm trying to do or what you would like to do as an entrepreneur, I think it's very, very important. I think it's very important because if you don't know your market, then are you going to build something or offer service or product that, I mean, would be able to be used by anybody? All right. So first, you have to know what, like for example, I work a lot of time with young people, right? If you look at my community, I can basically tell you that it's filled with young people, and when an older person try to get in there somehow they don't really fit in, even though they get to maybe what enjoy what we are doing, but they somehow don't get to really fit in what we are trying to do. All right, so you need to be able to know your market. You do your market research very well to know what your market is, so you know how you can tailor your product to those particular kind of people. So I think that when it has to do with you being successful in your business, your product, or the service you're offering to the people, I think you cannot really do so much if you don't know who you are selling to. All right, knowing who you are selling to has to do with you asking yourself some questions. Who's going to use this thing? Who are the people that are really interested in this kind of stuff? And then you don't just want to ask yourself that question. You have to go out for field. I believe in just not just sitting down and then having my head around it, all by myself. I believe in going out there and actually interacting with these people, right? Maybe not necessarily asking them questions. I just try to test run the very product or service with those people, right? I want to know, can this thing really help them? I want to know, can this thing really help them? And when they try to come into the product or the service, I want to also know how they are relating with the stuff, so I can know how I'll be able to improve on that thing. So
Okay.
markets, researching your market and understanding your market is extremely important. If not, you'll not be able to scale in terms of when you want to go bigger. You'll not be able to scale because you don't really know how to tweak your product to make it very, very interesting to those people that you are building for. So I
Right.
always tell people that you want to be able to know who is going to buy from you, and that will help you to know, how to build your stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Great,
So
great. So
if this yeah, if someone is listening to this, actually, you want to be able to know those people you are building for. It's extremely important. So how to do that is to go out there, have the thing, have them engage with what you are building, your product or your service, actually get them to engage. And then over time, you'll be able to understand, oh, this category of people are very much interested in what I'm doing. There are some product or there's some services that is very easy to you can just know, oh, this particular demographic of people would actually be those kind of people I'm interested in. Some product that but there's some new product that you really have to go out there and test run and then come up with a conclusion, and then you'll be able to now to tweak it and innovate around it. So I think it's extremely important if you are going to profit.
great, great. Thank you very much. So that means you're indirectly saying, okay, you're directly saying that a good market research translates to making money, right?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for the contribution. So the next question here is like directed to what you really do. Yeah. So cryptocurrency has gone through very trying times like recently. So I just want you to like give maybe some sort of short answer, right? So what is the safest aspect of cryptocurrency, right, that you would recommend to starters and newbies to this industry? All right, because I believe it's also one of the entrepreneurial fields, right? Of course. I definitely know that whatever recommendation that you're giving right now, it has to come with the condition that is DYOR. That means do your own research.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
what is the safest aspect of cryptocurrency that you would recommend to starters currently?
Well, in the blockchain space, especially the cryptocurrency space, we have to know that it's all risky. It's really risky out there, right? That's the first thing. If you are coming into the crypto space, you have to make it okay that you can lose everything, right? Because there's a lot of speculations and a lot of things, new stuff, innovations are coming up, and nobody really knows how everything can turn out to be, right? So the first thing I always tell people, if you are coming into the space, you have to start from learning. All right, don't people talk about investing in this particular coin and that token and that, but I think you should invest first in understanding the space, in knowledge. All right, you want to be able to learn that basic things you should know about cryptocurrency, right, before you think of putting your money in there, right? One of the rules of investing is that you don't get to invest in what you don't understand. Doesn't matter how they tell you he's going to do so well, 1,000%, 10,000%. Well, it can be true. It can also be false, right? So you want to start with educating yourself. That's the safest spot in coming into cryptocurrency. You want to know some things about us. It doesn't take so much. You can go on Google, you can go on YouTube, you can sign up for a masterclass. It doesn't take so much. Just the basic. You don't have to go in and learn as though you want to be a professor of cryptocurrency to be able to make money from that place. But the point is this: in that space, there are a lot of scammers. There's a whole lot. In fact, we have over 22,000 plus cryptocurrency, majority of which are going to scam people, like it just going to pump and dump. right? So you want to be able to guide yourself with basic knowledge, have the basic fundamentals, the understanding of cryptos. Okay, if you go on Coin Market Cap, for example, right, there are certain parameters you can check out for that can allow you to know, oh, I can play around with this. I can play around with, because the risk level, if not that it's not like the risk is totally off, but at least the risk level there, you can play around with it. Okay, but you don't want to go into the space knowing nothing. If you go into the space, that's the place you can lose everything. I mean, you can lose everything. So you
That's
start with
true.
knowledge. You want to learn about it. That's it. You start with knowledge, and then when you learn, your eyes will pop open. And talking about the coin you would want to start buying, maybe if if you are talking about safety and security, that you don't want to lose so much money, you want to start with coins like Bitcoin, all right? The top 10 tokens and coins on the coin market cap, you want to start with those ones because people have pumped in billions and billions of dollars. So those ones are a little bit safe than every other ones. All right. So, but the
Okay.
first place you want to start is actually to learn about the whole thing.
Great, great. So summarily for anyone that wants to like do cryptocurrency, the person just has to ensure that they get very quality education first, right?
Absolutely, yes, yes.
Great.
That's the
Or
safest place to be.
that's the safest place to be. Nice, nice. So we have like 5 minutes to the end, right? Because usually the webinar is always like just 1 hour, and so we're just going to like talk really briefly, like maybe in a minute. And the last thing here is how do you build your this is gonna go to Iniobong, right? So how do you build your network and how does it translate to cash? Because we've actually talked about community building, yeah. So, but now the question now is how do you actually build this community, which is like your network? It could actually be like network of potential customers, right? Or network of supporters, like support groups. How do you actually build this network and how does it translate to cash?
Am I going first?
Okay,
No,
thank you very
Iniobong will
much for
talk.
the question. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear
yes,
me?
can hear you. Yes.
Okay, so I keep telling people you don't know who will be your future customer. So most times when people are like, oh, he or she is asking a foolish question, or someone is
Hello.
asking a stupid question.
Okay, I think you're breaking. Hello, Lazarus. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, I think she might be having like some network glitch.
Okay.
Uh, same with Bason, I think. So, Lazarus, I think you can just take the session. Yeah.
Okay, please can you rephrase the question? Thank you.
Okay, yeah, yeah. The question was this, right? So how do you build your current network? Your network being maybe network of potential customers, network of support groups, network of friends that are like that have something to do with your career as an entrepreneur, people that will eventually, help you to succeed. How do you build this network?
Okay, first and foremost, uh the fact that you don't know who your next customer is makes the whole lot of stuff amazing. The first thing I want to recommend is a book. I read a book by Ryan and Scott Garber, Super Connector. I want every entrepreneur to read that Super Connector. I'm not doing marketing, but when you read Super Connector, you realize that whatever you don't network. First thing they unlearned me. I always tell people I want to network. You don't network with people, you connect. There's a difference between connecting and networking. You connect. What's the difference? The difference is when you network with people, that means you want to be parasitic. When you network, that means the only thing you are going there is for you to go and learn from them. That's when I network with David. Ah, so good to meet you, David. How are you? Have heard a lot. Like some people say, Alfred, I have heard a lot about you. Wait till you've been here. You didn't hear anything. So what happens? But because whenever I now get your number, or I connect with you just because I want to network, I'll be looking forward to always getting amazing stuff from you without being ready to give. So the advice is, while you are building your customer base, you learn to make everybody your friend.
Great.
While making everybody your friend, you are conscious that everybody are your potential enemy. But the features of you making them your friend will be more, because in every basis, like I said earlier, you give them free things. So when I connect with David and Bason, I give Bason and David free things. I made amazing recommendation, and whenever I need amazing recommendation, I meet David, like I've always done. I meet Bason and tell them, bro, this is what I'm doing, please, I need help with this. You see that the relationship is now into getting and getting, giving and giving. You are not the only person that give. You are not the only person that take. So as an entrepreneur, the thing we should learn to do more is to connect with people of value, because you have built yourself to be valued too.
Great.
Because you don't know who you wants you to deliver something to him. You don't know who is seeing what you do and we wants to recommend you. I can recommend David with my eyes closed because I know David can actually deliver. I can recommend Iniobong with my eyes closed. I can give Iniobong and David and Bason any contact they ask me. Okay, Alfred, I need so person's contact. Please, can you? I will send it with a blink of an eye. But if it's another person, I may not do that. Why is it so? Because I have trusted Iniobong, I have trusted Bason, I have trusted David that they will not mess up with my contact. Because if they messed up with my contact, they're directly messing up with me. So if somebody
Great.
now needs an SEO specialist, who will you people call? You will definitely call Alfred Lazarus. So you see,
Great. Great.
so that's it. It's about connecting, not networking.
All right. Thank you very much for that contribution, Mr. Alfred. So yeah, Iniobong, can you hear us now? Hello, Iniobong. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sorry, I didn't know I was muted. So I
Okay.
think Alfred has answered most of the things I would have said. Just like I said before, I try to create a relationship with everybody who come my path. We might not get to meet, but the way I converse with you, I don't think there's any being that I'm in the tech space, the ed tech space. I don't think there's any stupid question. So I try to answer everybody the way I can, if I have the opportunity. And what does that do? It helps them, it gives them that confidence to always come back to me. So someone might come to you for free stuff and you give it to them for free. The next time, they might be the one that will come with the 1 million job, the 2 million, even 1 billion job. They might give you that recommendation. So everybody is a connection to me. So I don't
Great.
just network, just like Alfred say. I'm not just there because I want to reap people. What's his name again? He likes talking about reaping. That he doesn't want people reaping. So I wouldn't want someone to use me, and I don't do that. So what I
Great.
try to do is that I want to create a connection with you so that you can be safe around me. And anytime I'm doing, even though it's free, anything I'm doing, even though it's free, I try to give premium quality stuff for free. So if I can give you something that is quality for free, so what do you think I'm going to give you if you pay me for that?
Great.
So I try to create that connection, and connection translates to money, to cash, and then
Makes sense.
long term relationship that always bring in that money for you.
Makes
So
sense. Makes sense.
that's what has worked for me.
All right. Thank you very much for that too. So, Mr. Bazan, please give us your contribution.
Okay, I think they've said it all actually.
Yeah.
So I think in building my space, I try to see what I can give out there to people. All right, so it begins with you. You have to be a person of value, right? You have to constantly add value to yourself so that when you meet people, doesn't matter how valuable the person is, you want to be meeting someone from the space of what you want to give first before you think of connecting. I think people really love givers, right? So if you want to build maybe a community or connect to people, your network, all of that, you want to be able to do that from a point of I have something to always give out. So I think in terms of giving, and that will help you to connect and build with people. That's just it. And then the second thing is that you want to be a person of your word. Like, you want to keep to what you tell people, especially when you're meeting people for the first time, right? You want to be sure that what you're telling them is what you are going to keep to it. Like, that you have to be a person of integrity, because what that will do is that they will learn to trust you and they get to do business with you. So I think
Great, great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So at this point, we're like 1 minute to the end, right? So before we close, I would like to just say thank you very much to all the speakers. That's Alfred, Iniobong, and Bason. Thank you very much for creating out time out of your very, very busy schedule to, be part of this webinar and contribute to knowledge. Yeah, because I think one of the reasons why we have the experiences that we have is so that we can share it with other people so that they don't get to make similar mistakes that we made in the past. And that means they will actually succeed faster. If I told it took us like 5 years to succeed, it's going to take them like 1 year, because somehow whenever you benefit from someone else's experience, you actually, gain time instead of losing time, right? So thank you very much for being part of this. I am really, really grateful. And this is the end of the webinar. Thank you very much. And
Thank you,
thank you.
David.
thank
And
you.
it was
Have
nice
a
to see Alfred and see Bason.
yeah,
Good
it was
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
nice.
David.
guys.
Thank
It
you,
was so good to
Iniobong.
be here.
Share the same
Yeah,
food
I'm
with
glad I
every one of
connected.
us. Yeah,
great, great.
All right,
Please
guys.
let's have a lovely weekend.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye
Okay,
bye.
bye.